Welcome back. Hello. How are you doing today? We have a beautiful Monday. Back to the grind. Let me do some housekeeping first. Okay. Seems like we are live. What a surprise. No issues so far. I hope you can hear me well. So welcome back to the stream. I'm happy to have you back. And today we have some work to do as usual. So I guess I'm not gonna wait too long. Whoever shows up, shows up. So last time on Friday, we've been working on Chordie and we've been trying to find a way to substitute the small encoders that I've been using before, which are these ones. I can quickly show you. Those tiny ones. They are quite nice, quite soft, very good to use, I would say. A bit more difficult to mount and to connect, but the issue with them is that they are slowly running out of stock, and currently the prices are so high that I wouldn't advise anyone to buy it. Definitely not to consider making a new build that includes this. So we've been trying to find a way to substitute them with something, and we kind of did. It's not nice. I mean, it's okay, but there is a way to change it. We can use normal encoder like this. Okay, let me highlight this one for you. So it looks more or less like this. And if you look on the workbench, this is this little fella. It's a very standard encoder EC11. And this one is just 90 degrees angled. So my choice was to go with these because they are very easy to buy. They should be around for quite some time, I hope. And should be good. In short, it should be good. But the problem is that they are not so small like the other ones. It looks like we will be having some issues mounting them, finding like a good solution to attach them to the keyboard. So previously on Friday, we've been working on this special housing, I would call it. That looks like this. And the encoder was supposed to go inside. And we almost did it. We weren't that far off, actually. But I was afraid that it might require a lot of redos and printing, and every print takes some time, even though it's a very small piece of equipment. It still takes some time to print, so I didn't want to waste too much time on the stream to do it. So on the next day, I decided to touch it up a little and to see if I can make it like finally work, because the idea was to have these legs from the encoder clip in a way into this space that we have cut out from the body. So it almost fit, but the issue was that when I was measuring all of them, I made a mistake. And first thing was that the legs, the first row is right in the center, and then the rest is at the back. And then these, originally, I put them in the center, but as you can see, they are not in the center. They kind of touch the back of the encoder, and they technically end at the center of the whole thing. So that's what I did. That's what I redesigned. So I shifted this a little bit to fit the reality, and also move them a little bit deeper, because before they were kind of like this, touching, but um, proper model would be for them to be kind of lowered a little. And the good thing is that now everything seems to fit, and the encoder, once it's clipped in, it sits really, really nicely. So it looks more like this. I can slide it in, and it clips in. So as you can see, it's all in. And thanks to this, I can't really move it outside. It sits inside the chassis. The scroll maybe is not that soft as it should be, but I think I can live with that. I was trying to put some WD-40, but that didn't really change much. And now I was thinking maybe I should have pressed the button and then just add some lube inside. Yeah, but that's a thing for the future. Whether it works or not doesn't really matter much, because we still have to use it somehow. So doesn't matter if it's a little bit more difficult to rotate than the small one. Yeah, so it fits, sits in, fits nicely. It's quite tight, doesn't really move left or right. There's no wiggle room. It's still possible to take it out, but it takes some force. Has to go like this. And there it goes. So it's okay. I'm kind of happy with it. Yeah, I don't know if you could hear the sound, how it clipped in. Yeah, so it sits nice. So that's a win for us. But there is a problem that we still have to figure out. So if you look at the whole thing and the whole keyboard, originally our encoder was over here. So now when I am looking at it, I am under impression that I think first of all, what we need to do is to rotate this one by 180, I would say. So that is, I forgot to choose the housing as well. That doesn't really matter because I can rotate it now. Okay, one more time. Okay, I think it would be easier if I rotate both of them at the same time. Actually, we still have the knobs, so I guess I would just rotate the whole group. Let's see what happened now. Okay, it looks more or less fine. So let's keep all the knobs for a second, but we still have to move the whole group. So what I was thinking was to move it over here, because like on this keyboard, the encoder is over here, so the scroll is kind of, the finger always goes outwards. So if we have that over here, the housing will be sticking out. So I was kind of worried that it might interfere with the motion of rotation. But I guess it's gonna be difficult to like guess if it should be this way, or maybe we should have it like angled, maybe like 45 degrees or something like that. So I was thinking maybe instead of guessing and maybe wasting time on printing, maybe we could cut the keyboard like this. So we can chop off this point at this point and chop off this. So ultimately we would just get rid of this part. And then maybe I could just add some like mounts for the screws, maybe over here, one, and one over here. And then we could have this part that we just removed. We would be able to model quickly and print quickly, because we'll be only printing like a small piece of the keyboard, because the rest of the keyboard actually will stay the same. There won't be much change to the rest of the keyboard, and we don't have to print it every time we change where the encoder is. So that's good for us. So we can have only this one spot like removable, and we need some screws to be able to hold it tight for the testing, like when we are scrolling and we apply force. So we don't really want the whole thing to kind of fall into pieces or like move around. So I guess if we put like 2 screws over here, like M3 maybe, it should kind of work. And then we can also, because this angled encoder, that was one idea, but then we can also use the standard one that is not angled. They are also kind of small in a way. I think the height is 15 millimeters. So that is not too bad, especially if we consider for the MX keys, and they are like by definition, they are quite tall. And also the keyboard is designed to be a bit taller, because for the MX, I usually use these like a wrist rests. Technically they should be used for a mouse, but it happened that they work perfectly with the keyboards, especially with Chordie. So MX keyboard is tall by definition, so doesn't really matter, I guess, how tall will be the encoder part. And I was thinking that the flat one could be a little bit bigger, because I saw on AliExpress they have those really nice knobs. Maybe I'll be able to find one. If we hop on quickly to AliExpress, and I will just take a look at I think it was 32 millimeters or something like that. Or like this one. I'm not quite sure is that the correct size. Yes, 32 by 13. So I was kind of interested with it because it has this like a groove, or like a special, I don't know how to call it correctly, but it's like right for the finger. So this might come handy if the encoder is flat. So maybe that would be okay to just like put your finger in and to have like a easy way of rotating it. And I also noticed that if you put the finger on the edge and try to rotate with that, it is also kind of okay, quite nice. There is a good traction. The finger doesn't really slip too much. You just have to apply some force, like downwards, and maybe this will work, hopefully. Yeah, but that's something that we can explore when we build all those different variants. And having those screws, as I mentioned before, I think would be beneficent. It will be easier to quickly progress with the prototypes. So I think that's what I'm gonna do now. I will just quickly chop off those parts. We don't really have to do anything over here. We still have some space. Should I really move it backwards? Yeah, that's the first issue, because so the key is over here, and this is normal spacing, so it's 1905. Not the best way to write with the trackball, but it's still okay. So that's the normal spacing, 1905. But if we have this huge encoder over here, like this, it might be interrupting in a way. I mean, from the chords that I have and the encoders that I'm using currently, they also kind of stick out and they don't really interfere with the typing. So maybe it won't be that bad. But yeah, having this feature to be able to swap those encoders like on the fly with the different prototypes, just to screw them in, that would be something that we can do and quickly change all these things that I'm talking about right now. So yeah, I think I will just chop it off over here and just put a plane and select the whole thing. It looks like we only have to cut the bottom plane. Let's see if I remove the columns. Okay, so that's one part that is left. So we don't really have to cut the keys. So maybe one more plane over here. And let's cut. I think maybe only this piece. Would it work? Let's see. Okay, so we have this part that we can now remove. But I mean, we can either keep it for later, just hide it. Yeah, because later on we can attach it back to this piece, assuming it will be still in use. But for now, let's just get rid of it. Okay, and here we have a screw. We won't be attaching the bottom anyway. So I think I can just fill this one. Just press F and it's gone. Or maybe I can show you the keys that I'm pressing. Might be easier to follow what is happening. Okay. Okay, now it's better. We still have to fix the source code for the visualization, but that's for later. Okay, anyway. So we are here. We have our encoder like this. So it's quite big, quite tall. Maybe I should move it up a little. If we align it with the bottom plate. Makes me wonder how much space is left from here. I can just select this wall and hold Control and click here. Is it gonna show me? Yes, so the distance is 2.1. So that's kind of wasted space. I think we can remove this space and have the keys directly at the bottom. On the other hand, might not be the best idea because we still need some space. Okay, I will leave it like that. So let's make it 2.1 from the bottom. So it will be easier to wire, and then when the bottom plate comes in, there will be still some space to close it, because like once we solder something to those wires, I mean to those legs, the wire might be sticking out up a little. So this should help. Okay, but as you can see, we are kind of clipping into the whole keyboard. So we can approach it in two ways. I mean, we still need this wall to stay. So we can either move the whole thing or just leave it bland and just move this wall. Something like this. But then it will make the back wall a little bit thinner. Well, maybe we don't need it this big. It's 2.4. Okay, that's kind of a lot. Maybe if we do it 1.2. Okay, we see how it goes. Let's make it 1.2. So it's gonna be half of what we have now. Okay, and suddenly we have some space left. Okay, if we look at it right now, there is a gap over here. So the gap is, how big is it? 1.2. Okay, so we can either fill this space, or we can just leave it like that and not worry about it too much. Yeah, then maybe we can fill it sometime later, because what is most important now is to check whether we want the encoder to be like this or rotated or maybe at an angle, and how big it's gonna be, how it's gonna affect everything. Okay, so I guess I will try to add like a bottom. How does it look like from the bottom? Okay, not too bad. And the biggest knob is clipping. So I guess that's the 25 millimeters one. Okay, and this one. Okay, so that one 17 by 15. Assuming I got the dimensions correctly, maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's the 15 height and diameter 17. But I think the diameter was 17. Yes, 7.5 is the radius. So I think the first version we will just try to do with this one, with the smaller one, smaller knob. So from the bottom it looks like this, and we can make a new component over here like this, and okay, let's make a line. So we can start from here to here, for example, like this, like this. It's gonna be very crude. We don't need to be either like nice shape, and we don't need it to be like super accurate or anything, as long as it works. Okay, I'm gonna pull it up to is this the height of the bottom plate? That's 4.2. Okay, looks like that's the correct height for this. Okay, 4.2, but we have this thing over here. That was for the screw. So I think I will pull it up a little bit higher. Like this. Okay, looks fine. Okay, so maybe move this wall to here. Okay, and we won't be needing this because this was supposed to hold the encoder and prevent it from like falling out like this. But since we have the housing fully done, we don't have to worry about it. So I think I can remove this part like this. Okay. Makes me wonder if I just pull it out like this and cut this shape out of it like that. And then maybe move it backwards a little and see where we land. We can make this one a little bit bigger. I need to hold Control and try to scroll. Okay. I'm gonna select this and now I need to press, I guess, P. Okay, so that's the radius. So in order to make it a little bit bigger, let's make it, how about we make it 8? Is this enough space? Okay, let's make it 8.5, for example. Okay, give it some more space like this. Okay, and over here, I think I'm gonna move it. How about we make it like, should we make like 1.2 from the edge? Okay. I'm thinking if I really need this over here, or maybe just remove it completely, because when we put on the knob, I don't want it to be stuck on it, even though there is some space left. And I think the one that is modeled is okay. How about we check the other knob, the smaller one? Okay, this one should have some space as well. And what about the biggest one of them all? Okay, this one. Oh, this one will technically wrap on the desk. So I think for this one we should design a different hold. Okay. I think I will hide this part, just like that. We won't be needing that. And I think I can make a little bit thicker over here. So I will just project these two walls and connect them at the end over here, like so. Okay, and we can pull it up to about here. Okay, not the best thing to look at, but okay, doesn't really matter. What matters if it's gonna work for us. We still have to cut the bottom over here, but that we can do later. First, we need to try to add those screws that I have mentioned. So if we go over here and we make, so the screw will be 2.9, so that's gonna be M3 thread. And I would like to have, well, actually, let's maybe pull this one out. Let's make it 10. And first, let's take a look where we can place it. Okay, it doesn't look that bad over here. I will keep it over here for a while. So now we need something to hold it. If I do rectangle over here, how does it gonna look like? Okay, so we have it in the center. Looks like it. You can pull it all the way to here. And let's just move it back a little so that it aligns with the wall of this. One more time. Okay, let's cut the hole. Okay, so that's where the screw will go in. So I think I should move it a little bit more to the front. I can either like move this part here, and then I need to copy this and paste it. So that will be the other side. So I would just pull this. Should I pull it all the way to here? So the idea is that I can put the screw over here and it will go through like this. Okay, how big is this? 10 millimeters. So that's too much. We don't need it to be this big. Besides, too long screw will be difficult to screw it in. So maybe I think 3.6, a lucky guess. And same goes here. So from here to here, we want 3.6 as well. Hopefully that will be enough and it won't break. Okay, so that's one side. And over here, okay, we might run into some trouble. So the first problem is that we have to cut the bottom so that we can push the encoder from the bottom. So we have to cut the shape over here as well. And then another issue is with this knob, there isn't much space to attach the screw over here, but we can do it maybe over here. Let's make this wall stick out, let's say 5 millimeters. And then I can take this piece and I can paste it. I'm gonna move it a little. Okay, maybe I would try to rotate. So I can just select this wall and I think that will be this direction and orient object. How about like this? Okay, okay, like this. It's fine. And now I'm gonna move it to this wall. And I want bottom to be aligned with the bottom plate like that. Okay. And where are we? Most probably even this will require some tweaking later on. Is this in line? Okay. Distance is 0, so that's fine. So now in order to be able to attach this one somehow, now it makes me wonder, would this one screw be enough? Maybe? I don't want to be too cheap. So yeah, let's do two. Okay, so this one is the shape from the top. Oh, do we have here? Okay, so that's the... Oh, that's not an issue because we can always move it up like this. And we can move this one up as well. Okay, let's make a hole in this. So 2.9. And let's just drill it like this. Beautiful. Okay, so more or less, this looks fine. I hope I can fit in a screw like this. Okay, so we have one screw over here and one screw over here. These two should be enough, in my opinion. And so what we need to do now is to cut the shape of our housing, to cut it out from the bottom. So let's see how we can do that. If I try to go with the rectangle, and I will just try this whole shape. Remove the housing and cut. Okay, it looks promising. Okay, so yeah, that should do. And if I remove it from here, okay, it's not bad. So the next thing I need to do, I have to have the same cutout over here for the shaft, because we will be inserting from the bottom. So maybe I will try go with the rectangle over here and just from here to here. Okay, where are we? Okay, and if I pull it back, okay, so not too bad. So even if it was a finalized design, it wouldn't look too bad in my opinion. Like you can't really see the opening. And how big is the hole between these two? Okay, 7.2. I think we can make it smaller. I think it can be 6.1 because 7.2 is 7.2 is for this part over here, and the shaft, okay, this part over here is 7.2, and it's a little bit larger. But the shaft is 6. So technically we should be able to get away with just 7.1. Let's see how it goes. Okay, if I select these two walls and I try to move them, and I think I can do symmetric move. And if I want to have the ruler, okay, that didn't work. Maybe one more try. So these two walls still symmetric, and ruler. So it's 3.6 and we want to be 6.1 divided by 2. Let's make it 6.2 to be on the safe side. Okay, so okay, 3.1. That was 3.6. Okay, that I think it's too big. Something is wrong. Okay, it's 8.2 now. What happened here? Okay, one more time. So the distance is 7.2. So that's the original size. And now if I want to make it, okay, 3.6, I want it to be 3.1. Oh no, it seems like 8.2. A kind of odd way to do this. Okay, so it's 7.2. So it's like 3.6 if we put the ruler on like this. So it says 3.6. So if I want it to be 3.1 and it still makes it bigger. Maybe this feature is bugged because I can clearly see that it's showing 3.6 from the center to the wall. So if I want to change it to 3.1, it makes it bigger. It says it's 3.1, but it's really not. Okay, anyway. Okay, it's 7.2. So we have to move it, each wall we have to move by 0.5 millimeter. So I'm just gonna move it 0.5. Or maybe it can't move this wall. Ah, okay. Okay, now everything is clear. So because of this shape, and yeah, because it's not really, okay, it doesn't know how to move it. Okay, that's fine. What I can do, I can just copy this wall, and now I can pull it by 0.5. Okay, now it works, no problem. And I can do the same with this one and also pull it by 0.5. Okay. Yeah, so the symmetric move with the ruler is not bugged. That was the issue with the shape actually. So it didn't quite know how to do it. And as you can see, the shape is not following, but that's fine. We can do it later. So what is the distance between, okay, 6.2. Well, actually we don't really need it to be to follow the shape of the circle. We can just leave it like that. That is totally fine, I suppose. And besides, it's just a cosmetic, not really important now. We can change it anytime. What matters the most is how we gonna attach it to the keyboard. Okay, so we have this cut over here. So if I enable the encoder, so it looks more or less like this. So this is where the knob is. We have some space over here, and the key is over here. Okay, so I guess that's the first thing that we can kind of print maybe. Let's remove the knob for a second and see how it looks like. Yeah, definitely we would have to do something like around those corners. So most probably the whole thing will be a little bit thicker to have like a nice round shape. Okay, so the question is, will I be able to somehow attach it to the keyboard? Okay, I see there is some empty space over here. Well, it doesn't matter, at least for now, I suppose. Maybe I will also remove this just to be on the safe side, so there are no more issues. I mean, there won't be any issues if the knob comes in. I'll just pull it out and it's gone, and this one is gone as well. Okay, I can remove this cutter for the screw. Okay, so one screw goes here, so we have 3.6 and it's gonna be 7, so like 8mm screw should be fine. So we have to clean it up a little now, because some parts do not belong in this body. So I will make it here, and let's call it EC attachment. Okay, so this part will be the part of the base plate. So let's move it over here. So this one will print with the base plate. This one as well. And this one. Let's just activate the base plate. Okay, so if I hide this now, this is how it's gonna look like. So that's our empty space for the encoder. I'm not quite sure if this piece, if it's not gonna be too fragile. Well, we still have this one, so together they should hold well, I hope. Maybe I can make it a little bit thicker, so it's 5.8. Yeah, I don't want it to crack open. Okay, a little bit bigger. There is more space. So I guess now I have to also change this one. And I think we should also move the holes to be in the center, like this. Okay, so that's fine. Maybe let's move this one as well. What is the thickness? 755. Okay, let's make this one 8. Okay, should be fine, I suppose. I hope there won't be any issues with reaching with a screwdriver or anything like that. Okay, let's show the housing. Okay, looks fine. Okay, so now if I remove these parts and the housing. So this is how it looks like without any attachment. And from there we can try different versions. So this one will be all the way up to 17 by 15. So these are all the things that will allow to attach to the base. In the housing as well. Okay, it looks very crude, but this should do the trick in my opinion. So we have these two knobs, so they look okay. We have the opening over here for the shaft to go through when we'll be pushing from the bottom like this. Yeah, so the encoder will go in like that. I wonder if I missed something. I would want to print the whole thing just to find out at the end that something is missing, something simple. I hope this will hold. This one I'm not worried that much. This one should be fine. Yeah, over here, this part should be stiff, so that should be good. Okay, I guess that's it. Very crude, but yeah, no point going into details right now, because still we don't know if we're gonna keep it like that, if it's gonna be this way, or maybe we'll rotate it somehow, or maybe even the housing might be completely like we can have it like over here, and the shaft will be this way. Yeah, or yeah. Difficult to tell at this point. Okay, how is the bottom? If everything is aligned. Okay, so that's the same distance, I suppose. Okay, so that's everything is on one plane. Okay, so the holes align. This one and this one looks good. Just one more check before we go. This one is fine as well. We have the shaft opening over here. That's fine. Okay. So I'm gonna remove all those parts that are not that not part of the base plate. I will make this one a little bit longer. Let's make it, let's say 6. It won't hurt. Yeah, should be okay. Okay, so we have this part and this part, and encoder goes here. So I think we can print. I think we can print it like that. I'm just gonna save quickly before we export. Yeah, I guess I will keep the infrared. Also makes sense to see if it doesn't interfere in any way. Shouldn't technically, because infrared, which is this part, is meant for the pin key, like so. I don't know if you can see over here. So yeah. Okay, and I just realized that's gonna be the first print where we have the mouse keys also available. So that will be something that we can check. Okay, so if so, then maybe we should also take a look at the volume part. Yeah, I almost forgot about this one. Should we keep it like this? Actually, it might make sense to also have it like on screws, because what I wanted to check, I wanted to see how is it gonna look like with like smaller encoder, or maybe bigger diameter but less tall than what I've been using. So that will be another part that we can also swap quickly. Yeah, and it shouldn't be that bad to add, because we can do one screw over here and one screw, but where can we put one more? Over here won't do, because we won't be able to screw it in. Well, technically for this part, maybe we'll be able to get away with just one screw, because we won't be really needing like much stiffness from it. We won't be really pushing it this much, and otherwise I don't really know where to put the second screw. It would have to be somewhere over here. Like over here somewhere. Because one over here is quite easy. That part will be easy to do. Unless we make it over here. Okay, let's go back to the base. Oh, this is actually part of the volume. Let's copy and paste this guy over here. Oh, actually, I would like to have it from this wall and to be aligned with this wall. And up to here. Okay. Okay, still too high. Oh, that's not an issue. We can just anchor on this wall and up to this wall, and it's fine. It's sticking out a little. That's not a problem. We can always move this to accommodate. Okay, what happens if I pull this one out? I'm not sure if I like it this way. Okay, what I can do, I think I can go from the bottom and maybe we can just draw shape like this. Over here and just project these two and this one. Okay, we have a nice plane and we can do all the way to here. Okay, that kind of fits. So we can move this guy, copy and paste and move over here. And we would like these two walls to touch each other like that. Okay, but then there is this thing that we have. Oh, so if we change the diameter later on, it's gonna be problematic for this part. Well, I can skip it altogether and then only attach, but at the same time I would like to see how does it look like with the mouse keys, these two. How do they look like in comparison to the volume? So if I leave the volume as original, then I will have to print it again at some point. Okay, so if I make it bigger like this, I mean that's too big, but so then I won't be able to reach this screw. I can't have screws over here because still it's gonna be difficult to reach. And if I leave it without any screws, well, I can always have the bottom plate like this, if I can find it. And then maybe, well, still it won't fit because of this. Every part will be different. I was thinking that, for example, I can just I could just bind these two parts to just print the bottom plate for this part. So that would be one big bottom. And then if I just screw in these screws, for example, these two, and maybe this one, that would hold everything together. It makes a little bit of sense. Well, yeah, I can always accommodate for that. So maybe the bottom plate is the way to go. So we can have it. It's still gonna be faster to print the bottom compared to the rest, and actually we can have it a little bit smaller. Okay, I think I know what I would do. I will make the base plate all the way to here. So that will be like the original bottom plate. And then for every different volume encoder over here, I would be able to print a new one. Maybe I will just cut it like this. So I will leave this part, or maybe like this. Yeah, so I will be only printing bottom plate for this part, and then this will hold everything together. Yeah, that makes sense. It's gotten a little bit messy with all those shapes over here. Okay, so I will copy this this base plate actually, or bottom plate. Let's make a new component. Let's call it bottom, and let's paste. I can hide this one, so we won't be needing it for now. And what I wanted to do, I wanted to cut it. So I will just put a plane over here. And I think I can cut it right like that. Oh no, it wasn't supposed to be here. It was supposed to be a little bit further. Maybe I can align with one of the edges, like maybe over here. Okay, now I'm gonna cut. I can remove that. And this way, I have the bottom like that. And now, for example, I can make a new component. Let's do, maybe you can call it simple just one, like this. And if I can follow these edges, okay, this one I will leave for later. I will just project, and I can follow this shape. Okay, I think it went this way. And I wanted to project this part. Okay, let's see what we have. Okay, quite nice. And let's go up to here. And I think we have some screws to make over here. Okay. Just hide base for a second. Oh, actually, we need this, not the base. Oh, but that's fine. Okay, and we don't need this piece. Okay, so this one, I think this is a different one. Because it has this this different shape, it should be flat. I think this one, I did it for the PCB. Oh, that's fine. that is not a problem. I will just copy and paste over here. Okay, how thick is it? 2.8. It's a bit thick. I think it was smaller. I think it should be 2.4. Okay, anyway. So what I will try to do now, I will try to move all these to, okay, so it's removing everything, but that's not a problem. Okay, so like this, and this will be one piece. Okay, I think I got it wrong over here. I think the angle over here is 89. I think I can grab it like that. If I can move it. Okay, now we have a little problem with the angles over here. I think this one is 90. Yes. So this one is not. If I can move it over here. Okay, so do we have 90 over here now? Yes, we have. Okay, so I think I can move it, maybe, all the way to this edge. Okay, looks about right. Yeah, so this way I have this part. So with the whole keyboard looking like this. Okay, that's our cutter, we don't need that. So, and the volume part as well. Okay, so now I will be able to quickly swap. I can remove this part, the volume part, like this. And the only thing that will be keeping it will be the bottom plate. So the bottom plate will be print whole, like this. So then when I need a different volume attachment, I will just print new bottom, and the bottom screws will hold everything together. So I can always attach like 1 or 2 screws, for example, like here and here. And then these screws as well, then they will hold the whole thing. They will hold this part. This one. Exactly. So, okay, so I don't need these anymore. Okay, something is not quite right still. Okay, and the bottom plate, I think it was too thick, it was 2.8 and it should be 2.4. So we can change that soon. Okay, so that's the original one. I think I can remove it. We won't be needing it. What is that? Some leftovers. I'm gonna close these holes and then we can make new ones. We actually don't need all of them. Just press F on every one of them and they are gone. And now I can do circle. And for example, I can just pick maybe this one. Maybe this one. And maybe one more to hold everything together. Let's take this one. Okay. Like this. And let's pull this hole and one over here. One over here. Do we have anything else to cut? I don't think so. Okay, okay, that looks good, more or less. Let's do a quick save. Okay, so the bottom plate is done. This is our encoder, so I'm gonna skip it for now. So that's the base, our keys, infrared. Okay, we have, if we hide the bottom, we have all the holes over here. That should be fine. Okay, this is not important. What happened here? Okay, so okay, that's fine. It won't affect anything. Okay, so this way we can prototype two things at the same time. So we have, so this is our base in a way. I forgot I have to remove this part. I should just delete it. Okay, so this is our base. And then we can have different attachments. So one of them will be the encoder over here, which we will attach with the screws. One will go here and the other one will go here. So that is one part of the keyboard. And then we still want to be able to check different sizes of the encoders for the volume, which is over here. That's the volume encoder. And we can achieve it by having not printing the attachment in the first place, but then we can print it separately like this. And then when we attach it, we will just print a bottom plate that will look like this. Yeah, I should also extend it to cover this. So that will be like the first version. So we can do it soon. Yeah, so these are like two pieces. So this piece will be permanently screwed in. And then like if we change this volume to something else, to something like bigger like this, we will still have like two screws, or at least two screws to connect. So we can make a new base for this part. And it will just go like this. So we don't have to print this part anymore. That will be like constant, and we'll be only changing the attachment and the bottom plate for the attachment, and as well here. So one more thing, for the encoder part, if we take a look, okay, so it looks like this. And okay, so this is our first. Okay, so I guess we should have this part swappable as well, like this part. So I should technically cut it so it conforms to this shape. Yes, I think I should cut the bottom plate, remove this part, and then the bottom. Do we have enough screws to hold it? Let's take a look. Well, there aren't many. There is only one over here and one over here. So we would have to kind of cut like this to be able to have these two as well. Okay, now it's getting a little bit more difficult. But on the other hand, we don't really. No, it might be useful, because if at some point I decide to rotate it like this and have the shaft over here, so then I would be needing a bigger bottom plate over here. So if I don't cut it out, it won't be swappable. Then I'll have to print the whole bottom again. And having it like in pieces, that will save some time. So yeah, we have to figure out a way how to cut it that would allow us to be kind of like free with different designs. Okay, first of all, I think I will just remove this piece like we did with the base plate. I will just cut over here. I can remove this one, and I will put one more plane over here and just cut with this plane. Okay, this plane is not needed anymore, and this one can be removed. So this part is where our encoder will come in. And we have only one screw that is here, and another one is here. Okay, I think we can extend, maybe, because I think this part we won't be changing. Let me take a look. Yes, okay, so this part, this mount, where the screw will be in, this one we won't be changing at all, because this is already like where the pinky is. So the encoder can only grow this way, or maybe this way, depending like which direction. So we will never go over here. So I think I can extend the the bottom plate. Let me grab some drink. Yeah, I think this makes some sense. So let's just do a line over here. Oh, let's make it like this, and it's not really. Okay, let's do 90 over here. That didn't really go well. Okay, maybe if we remove snap to grid. Okay, okay, we are not on the same plane. Okay, I should do it on this plane. Okay, now it's gonna be better. So okay, but at the same time now I can see, oh no, okay, I can see the bottom. Okay, so that's gonna be fine. And yeah, like this, and just extend. Okay, and now I can trim with T, so I can just do it like that. And continue over here and over here. Okay, I think the shape is closed already. Yep, that is awesome. All the way to here. Okay, more or less what we needed. Yeah, so if I put one more screw over here somewhere, so then I can only print this part, this bottom, and like having those two screws, it should technically hold. Let's see. 2.9. Let's just move it around a little. Okay, I will just pull it down. Okay, I will just cut. I'll remove this one. And okay, it's not that bad. If I can just make an opening for the screw in this part, I have to highlight. That's the base plate. Okay, so I just need to enable base plate, and then I can do circle. Okay, that's great. Okay, 2.9. How long is this one? 6.6, and this one is 2.8, but yeah, I have to still make it smaller. I think I have to open the previous project and compare what was the thickness of the bottom plate. Maybe it was 2.8, I can't remember at this point. Well, I can pull it, oh, okay. I can pull it all the way, do like a through hole. Okay, it's a little bit too far from the, I mean, it would be nicer if it was more in the center. So maybe I can just center it like this, and if I click this line, it should technically put it, okay, in the center of both things. That's kind of odd because I want it to be, okay, there should be like a midpoint somewhere. Oh, there it is. Okay, now it's nice. Okay, so now it's like in the center of this body. Okay. So to recap it, so we have our knob and housing, and we have this part. So now I can build the bottom plate for our, like a first version of our prototype. I would just do it like very crude, like this, nothing fancy. Okay, and pull it all the way to here. Okay, so this will be one part. This is another part. This one will be constant. This we won't be changing. And then we can have this part all the way to here. So this part will be swipeable, and this one as well. We can swap these two, and the bottom we can leave it as it is. I will just bind them together. Okay, so how does it look like if we enable all the parts? I will just hide the bottom for now. Enable our volume. Okay, so looks good, and the bottom plate is covering everything. So I guess our first print will be only this. I mean this bottom part. No volume and no encoder for the scroll. So we remove all of that. So that's that is one part. Okay, I think if we take a look at the volume right now, so I think I can extend the bottom plate to cover this area, because this one I hope I won't be changing. It might happen that there is something wrong with those keys, and for example, like one might be too far, and it might happen that I will need to move these two. Yeah, but then, okay, it doesn't really make much sense, because I will still have to reprint the whole thing anyway. So, okay, I will just leave it as it is. So our like constant part gonna be this bottom, no volume, and okay, this part is part of our housing. But just a quick look. So if I have this and the housing and all these things, and then I have the bottom plate. Okay, so okay, it should cover. I guess it will be fine. It should be fine. Because okay, so we have these two screws over here, and then the plate will go over here if we change it. So we only have to reprint this part. Okay, so I still have to do this one. Extend to cover those extra mouse keys that we have just added recently. This should be fairly easy. Just follow the shape over here. Okay, now it's closed because I can't continue with the line. This is like a neat feature. Okay, I can pull it. And I think I can combine these two bodies. So this is our one part. Okay, I'm gonna remove this. And without the bottom, it looks like this. So we have almost everything. So that's the space for the encoder prototype. That's the space for the another encoder prototype, but the one for the volume. This is volume, and this is scroll. I'm getting better with writing with the trackball. Okay, so that's fine. The plate looks like this. So this is also fine. We have mounting holes. There's a hole over there, and there's a hole over there. Okay, if you look at this one, we have holes as well. Okay, and the volume part, that's the standard one. We haven't changed anything. And if we enable the bottom, okay, it looks good. I hope there won't be any issues with the, how to call it, with the margin over here, that like it's gonna fit. Yeah, should be fine. Okay, so I'm gonna remove this. Let's highlight. Okay, so I think that will be it for the center part. We have the mounting holes over here, 1 and 2. And then our component goes here. This is 3.6. Okay, should be good enough. Even if it's not, it should be easy to print a new one. How much, how thick is this part? 0.8. Okay, so that's not great actually, but hopefully it will be enough. Okay, okay. So I think that's it. I think I can print. So this will be the one part. So let's call it center underscore const. Okay. Now I need the bottom plate for the center. So I think that was this one. So I can hide others and I can export. So it's gonna be let's call it center, bottom, const. Yeah, that okay. So I have so many different STLs over there. So if I just put like bottom or something like that, I would overwrite something. Not that this other thing is important. Yeah, but maybe good to have a different name for what we want from it now. Okay, now let's take a look at our component. So that is the part that will be our first prototype, and we still need the housing. Okay, so it looks like this. Well, looking at it now, maybe I can I think I will move it all the way. Oh, I don't think I grabbed that correctly. Okay, I want this direction and I want it to be all the way to this wall. Yeah, to make it more rigid. It's gonna stick together. And it won't affect the encoder inside. There's still plenty of space for it. So that's good. Do we have some unwanted curves? Yeah, okay, we can remove that. Some leftovers from our sketching. Okay, so that is the prototype. And let's take a look how it's gonna look like with our base. Okay, so we're gonna screw it in here and here. Okay. Okay, so that's gonna be another print. So I'm gonna export that. Let's call it as scroll. So SCRL underscore. Let's make it 1. So it's gonna be our first prototype for the scroll. So this one should be able to accommodate 17 by 15 and 13 by 13 knob. I also went out and purchased all of these from AliExpress and some more even. So they should arrive maybe next week. So then we can see like in reality how do they stack up, because we only have this printed. So that's not the best. Okay, so here we are back. Our scroll template or scroll prototype number 1. So I'm gonna leave it here. Okay, and then comes the volume part, which is over here. Oh, no, I'm rushing. That's the bottom for our scroll, so we need to print that as well. I was supposed to check if it was 2.8 or 2.6 or 2.1. Oh, it doesn't matter right now. Okay, let's make it bot 1. So it's gonna be bottom. Okay, I can, while I'm here already, so I can just export the bottom for the volume, which is this one. So we call it volume bottom. Let's make it 1. And the last part that we need to export is the volume encoder, which is this one. Not much stuff over here. How does it look like with the base if we compare? Okay. Okay, it should be fine. And oh, 1 second. I think I got it wrong. Oh yeah, right, because it won't hold. Okay, so I've made a mistake. I have to cut it like this. So no, that still won't work. Yeah, I need more space. Okay, I have to redo this. But we can still export volume for now. I'm gonna call it volume 1 let's make it 35 because it's 35 millimeters. I can add millimeters as well, so it's going to be 35 millimeters prototype 1. Okay, and what I did wrong. So this, I don't think it's gonna work. So the bottom plate looks like this. Yeah, so there is nothing to hold it if I print it like that. So I think what I need to do is to have like maybe 2 more holes. So this part will be replaceable. This will be constant. And the question is, do we have any holes over here? Let's load our base. Okay, so there is one hole here, but these all belong to the... I can even make it transparent if I want to. Where was it? Oh, there should be color somewhere. No. Oh, there it is. So I can make it transparent like this. Okay, so we can see we have a hole over here, one here and one here, but these all will be for the part that we won't be changing. So I think I will add one more hole over here, and we're gonna cut this one over here. So this part, it should be okay. It should be like this, then like one piece. If I'm correct. So if you make one hole over here, and then let's say we cut like this. So I think I should make one more hole over here. Okay, and then we can easily swap this part. So we'll have 2 mounting holes to connect to the base, and then we'll have 3 holes to connect whatever we will create later on. So 2 holes for the base and 3 holes for the volume. Okay, so let's go back to opaque. All right, so back to the bottom part. Let's put a plane and do a clean cut. All right, and now there should be one more hole somewhere over here. I think I can use this one. Okay, so if we enable the base, okay, so we have these 2 holes to attach the bottom of the centerpiece. So that's fine. And then I need to cut again. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, because we need this piece I think I need a piece like this from here. I'll like cut somewhere over here. So this we need to extend, so maybe like that. Or should I make it? Okay, so this will be connected with the volume, I suppose. So let's make a snap to grid. Let's make a 2.9 over here. Okay. This is 2.9 as well. So it's 5.8. Because this is like a cap for when the screw goes from the bottom. So this is to give it some more space. So if I enable the bottom and enable this part, okay, we can and now from the top I can do that was 5.9. 5.9. And how tall was it? I didn't check. I can do it quickly. Control and control, click. Okay, 1.5 millimeters. So we can pull it up, 1.2. Okay, beautiful. Looks like it was always there. Okay, so this is our bottom piece for the center. And so this part, okay, this part and the part for here. Okay, so we have to well, actually, or was it okay? Now I'm confused a little. Okay, I think I left it for just one screw, like here. Hmm. Okay, let's look at it again. So this is the piece that we did. Okay, now this one is wrong, obviously. Okay, so this piece, this should be one piece. if I'm correct. And most probably it won't. Okay, it won't connect these two. Oh, that's fine. Okay, so now we need a piece to fill this. So this will be one part. This will be one part for the volume if we change it. This is the part for the scroll encoder. And over here in the center will be the part that we won't be changing anything. I think that should be enough. Okay, so this is correct now. And we can still make few holes for it. This one and maybe this one. The two should be enough. Okay, let's go back to the base and okay, so this one is okay and this one is okay. All right. So this one we have to remove. Okay, so this looks about right, but okay, something is off over here. And that's why I didn't want to connect, maybe. Let's try again. Oh no, still won't connect. Oh, that's fine. Okay, so we have to go back to our exports. So we have this one done. We have the base plate done. Okay, this one goes to the... I think we might need to export the base plate again. Because we have added this one over here. I don't think we export back then. Okay, so our base plate looks like this with all the sockets and all the columns for the keys. So let's export. What was the name? Okay, that was center console. I was right to put like meaningful names. So we can now substitute. Okay, so we have center const. So that's this part. And this is, what is it? This is the center of the keyboard. Yes, center bottom. Okay, we have that replaced. So now we need to do the volume, which is two parts. So this is the bottom for the volume. And it should go one piece here and one piece here. And should fit together with this one. Okay. Okay, do I have the name for it? Yes, volume bottom 1. Okay, I'm gonna replace that. So we have all the bottom pieces exported. Now we have the volume, which looks like this, and together with the base, looks like this, and then we attach the bottom plates. So this will hold it together with the base plate. Okay, so that's the volume. So we're gonna export that. That's the one, volume 35_1. Okay, so now we can jump into the Bamboo Studio. Okay, and we can start adding our stuff. So this is our volume, 35. Then we have our bottom for the volume. Then we have our center, bottom. Okay. Then we have our center. So the main keyboard. Then we have our scroll bottom. And then we have our scroll over here. Okay, let it arrange all this stuff. Okay, nice job. So, yeah, so looks like all the pieces are correct. And we have to enable support. Let's see how it's gonna slice it. Okay, some of these are not really necessary. Maybe I will just go with the normal support. Okay, that's a lot of stuff. Okay, we want on the build plate only. Okay, much cleaner. And we can make it a little bit the distance. I think it affects okay, still not. I would like to get rid of these. Because we don't really need a support where the screws are. Okay, now it's gone. So I changed that to the distance to 2.4. So it won't be making any more of this. Maybe 2.1. Okay, it's better. And still we don't have these small supports that we don't really need. Okay, we have one over here, but okay, I can live with that. Okay, it looks about right. I think I can send it to printer. The question is my printer on? Should be. Okay, looks like it's on. Let's see what happens. I need to check if the build plate is clean. Okay, looks like it's clean. There are no leftovers from any other prints. Well, the print gonna take some time. From what I can see, it says about 3 hours. So no point waiting. I guess we're gonna end on this today. We've done some work. We've managed to prepare like the kind of like a first prototype. I hope all the pieces will be okay. Like I hope everything fits the way we intended. I am really curious about this encoder, how it's gonna behave compared to the small ones. I have huge hopes. I really hope it will perform, that it will be easy to rotate. Yeah, so that's it for now, for today. I'm gonna print it, and on Wednesday we're gonna investigate how it works, if it fits correctly. Unless there is some major issue, I will reprint everything tomorrow. If there's anything that needs to be fixed, I don't really want to waste time on stream for that. So that's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. And for today, I guess that will be it. I don't think there is anything else that we can change, because you have to wait for the print. Yeah, and we kind of like already hit our 2 hours mark. I would like to keep it like 2 hours, between 2 and 3 hours, maybe 2.5, not too long. Small iterations mostly. So yeah, I guess that's it for today. I am really curious how it's gonna end up. I can't wait to put everything together to see how the pieces fit. So join me on Wednesday. We're gonna check everything. We're gonna play with it a little. Definitely we will do some fixes. If there are no fixes needed, which I doubt, but you never know, then we will proceed. We will do one more prototype for the big knob, which is this one. I think it's 25 millimeters. So far I have it only printed, but the metal version should be arriving shortly. So we're gonna do this, and I think we should be also able to mock up a different type of the encoder. We're gonna check how does the standard one looks like, how can we mount it. So that's all on Wednesday, hopefully, if we have time. And if not, there's still Friday and many more days to do. So yeah, we have still a lot of work ahead of us. I was hoping this would be like a quick fix for Chordie, but since I decided to change the encoders here to make it like more accessible for everyone, yeah, so we still have plenty of work to do. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have learned something. If you have any questions or suggestions or anything, you can leave it in the comments on YouTube. I will happily respond. And yeah, that's all. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on Wednesday.